and welcome back. I'm Jennifer here with Kate, and today is September 19th, the very interesting and colorful Feast of San Gennaro, who is the patron saint of Naples, Italy.
He's also known as Saint Juanarius, and his feast day brings up an intriguing question. Can this saint predict the future with his blood? That's what we're going to explore today.
Okay, so we love San Gennaro's feast day here because we love a good Catholic mystery, and his story definitely falls into that category. According to the people of Naples, he has been predicting their future with his blood ever since the year 389 AD.
How? Well, the cathedral in Naples has a vial of his blood. He was a martyr, and most of the time that blood just stays as a solid mass in the bottom of the vial.
But 3 times a year, that solid lump of blood turns into a liquid, and that happens on September 19th, which is his feast day, also on the Saturday that falls before the first Sunday in May, and then again on December 16th. And when it happens, that's a cause of great rejoicing in Naples because that tells the people that San Gennaro still loves them and he's watching out for them and protecting the city.
The catch is, though, that the blood doesn't always liquefy. And when that happens, the people become sort of on edge because that might mean some impending doom or disaster is coming.
So we thought this was all very interesting, and we were curious to know San Gennaro better and also to see what kind of track record he has with predicting the future. Do bad things always happen in the years when his blood fails to liquefy?
We'll see. But first, let's ask the question of who was San Gennaro? Well, he was the bishop of Benevento, Italy during the 3rd century until he was killed by Diocletian in the year 305 for not sacrificing to the pagan gods. Because we know Diocletian had a thing for persecuting the Christians.
But Bishop Gennaro did not go quietly. He did not have an ordinary death. First, he was thrown into a fiery furnace, but the flames didn't touch him and he just walked out unharmed.
Next, he was thrown into the gladiatorial pit with wild animals, but that didn't work either. The animals simply knelt down in front of him and refused to harm him.
So finally they had to get tough, so they beheaded him, and that did work. A faithful woman who was there did mop up his blood with a sponge because he was now a martyr, and she put the blood into a glass vial, which was then taken to Naples in the year 313 AD.
And eventually a cathedral was built in his honor, and after its completion, that's when the first miracle of the blood took place. In 389, the vial was brought out in front of the congregation, and there it was seen that the clotted blood miraculously liquefied.
As you can imagine, it was very exciting for the people in the cathedral to witness that miracle. So they have adopted San Gennaro as their patron saint ever since, and that miracle has continued to happen 3 times a year for centuries, only, as we mentioned earlier, it doesn't always happen.
And when it doesn't happen, the people of Naples take that as a sign that something bad is going to happen. So we thought it would be interesting to look at San Gennaro's track record and see what happened in Italy during the years when the miracle didn't occur.
So to start off, in the year 1528, the blood stayed solid, and that was the year that a devastating plague swept through the city of Naples, killing off nearly the entire population.
On December 16th, 1631, the blood failed to liquefy, and on the same day, Mount Vesuvius erupted, which it does from time to time, but it killed thousands of people and covered cities in lava and in ash, and the people of Naples immediately prayed to San Gennaro for help, and the eruption stopped.
In 1939 and 1940, at the beginning of World War II, San Gennaro's blood did not liquefy. And then again in 1943, the miracle failed when the Nazis overtook Italy.
And also again in 1973, when a cholera epidemic struck Naples, and then again in September 1980, and 2 months after that, there was a huge earthquake that hit Italy, killing nearly 3,000 people.
Most recently, the blood did not liquefy in 2016, and that was the year that a massive earthquake hit central Italy. And then in December of 2020, the blood didn't liquefy, no surprise there, although this past spring in May 2021, the miracle did happen.
So that's all very interesting, and it looks like San Gennaro's track record is pretty good. But is it all just coincidence? What does the Church say about this?
Officially, the Catholic Church has no stance on whether or not this is really a miracle, and that is because that in order to declare an event miraculous, the Church has to investigate it very thoroughly first.
But in this case, that's very difficult because the Church does not allow the vial to be opened because that could cause irreversible damage. So there's only a limited amount of forensic research that can be performed.
Still, in 1902 and then again in 1989, spectroscopy was done on the contents of the vial, and it did show that what's inside the vial is consistent with hemoglobin, which is a main part of human blood.
But there's still many skeptics about the miracle, and throughout the years people have tried to come up with non-miraculous explanations as to how the blood can liquefy and then reclot. For instance, some people think that it's a magic trick or a hoax that the Church has been playing on us for 6 centuries.
Why?
But no one's been able to actually prove that or figure out how it's been kept secret.
Some people like to say that magnetic forces from Mount Vesuvius exert a magnetic pull on the vial, and that changes the blood from solid to liquid. And then others say, no, it's not really blood in the vial, but it's some other substance, we're not sure what, but some other substance that goes from solid to liquid when it's exposed to light.
But that doesn't explain how sometimes when the blood is removed from its vault in the cathedral, that it's already in its liquid form, and then sometimes it's still in its solid form and doesn't liquefy for several hours.
Yeah, sometimes it can take a while for the blood to liquefy. So scientifically speaking, yes, blood that is clotted can become liquid again when it's stirred or shaken, but that's pretty much a one-time deal. It can't just flip-flop back and forth all the time because the clotting factors are used up.
So miraculous event or not, the Catholic Church still does support the celebrations that go on San Gennaro's feast day, which can be quite boisterous and elaborate, everything from parties to a 21-gun salute. So the people of Naples are wildly devoted to San Gennaro.
Now, we were in Pompeii a couple of years ago on September 19th, and all of a sudden we heard all these shots and booms ringing out. And then we realized, oh, it's San Gennaro's feast day, that's right. And so we could all breathe a sigh of relief because we knew that no doom was coming, everything was okay.
So hearing the gunshots can be one way to know that the miracle has occurred, but the traditional way is when the Bishop of Naples signals with a white handkerchief to the people gathered there that the blood has liquefied.
And speaking of bishops, the blood is also known to miraculously liquefied whenever it is paid a visit by the Bishop of Rome, who is the Pope. So this happened in 1848 when Pope Pius IX came to visit, but how have our most recent popes fared?
Well, the blood failed to liquefy in 1979 for Pope John Paul II, and also in 2007 for Pope Benedict XVI. But the blood did liquefy for Pope Francis in 2015.
So that is all very interesting, and I'm not even sure what to make of that last part. Anyway, happy Feast of San Gennaro. We will update in the description box when we find out for sure if today, September 19th, 2021, the blood liquefied or not.
So we hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.